Tony, how do you feel right now? You've just been found not guilty.
Very happy, elated, not just for myself, but for the movement, because this is the fourth acquittal in the 7 charges that have been brought under Section 12 of the Terrorism Act. And I'm hoping that the judicial authorities get the message that using terrorism to attack freedom of speech is not on, and the sooner they stop it, the better.
So this is a free speech trial, right?
In essence, it was, because I was alleged to have said that I supported Hamas because I supported the resistance on October the 7th. So it was really about free speech, and 9 Zionists complained, and of course the Department of Public Prosecutions immediately jumped to their defence and supported the prosecution, brought a prosecution.
And what were their best arguments? I mean, it looks like they were relying on bits like punctuation and grammar and pronouns and stuff like that. Can you run me through any of this? What were their best arguments, if any, please?
Well, their only real argument was I said we should congratulate Hamas on an audacious and well-planned attack on Israel. And that was a commentary on their military tactics. It didn't say anything about Hamas itself, still less whether I supported them. So they were trying to twist my language into a narrow channel, which they then could prosecute, and it failed abysmally.
And were they trying to say that you have a track record of supporting Hamas or anything like that?
No, they weren't. I mean, they were taking 3 tweets which said full support for the Gaza ghetto uprising. I didn't even mention Hamas. It was the thinnest of thin gruel that they had. And they tried to confect it with the aid of a very sympathetic Zionist judge, Judge Plashkas.
And what do you think? Well, firstly, what have you been through? Because it's been 3 years, right?
Oh, I've been to hell and back. I mean, you're on bail. You have headlines talking about terror offences. You have banks debanking you. There's a general air of suspicion. You have to ask the police to go abroad. You have to reside at your home. And just thinking of what might happen if you were to get sent down, like the loss of a flat, the loss of income, your children, or all sorts of things, friends. I mean, it goes through your head what the consequences of a false conviction could be. So I'm immensely grateful to the jury for returning in quick time, 2 hours, a not guilty verdict. And Judge Plashka, a woman who has no sense of humour, wanted to do me for contempt of court. She invited the prosecution to make a complaint. And when the prosecution declined, she said she'd considered it and turned it down because it was only the ramblings of an old man. Well, if that's the best she can do, then she should retire as soon as possible, because it wasn't the ramblings of an old man. It was an articulate defence that won over a jury of 12, despite her best attempts to get a conviction by barring material that supported my defence. She is a very sad, bitter, dare I say it, old woman.
Hopefully, we will be able to publish the speech in some form or another. But can you just give us a flavour? Where did you go in the speech that you delivered at the end?
Well, I appealed to the tradition of fighting for our civil liberties. I quoted Benjamin Franklin about how when they want to attack the liberty of a nation, they first attack freedom of speech. I also quoted him at the end and said, those who trade liberty for security get neither. And George Orwell on freedom of speech being the right to say what someone else doesn't want to hear, and about the use of the Terrorism Act, the way it is used to attack supporters of liberation movements and oppressed peoples. It's not Israel supporters who are done under the Terrorism Act, which would make sense because it's a terrorist state. It's the Palestinian supporters, opponents of genocide who are accused of being terrorists. That is the upside-down, topsy-turvy world of Keir Starmer, Andy Burnham, Yvette Cooper, David Lammy. They have got twisted, sick values because they practice psychopathic politics.
You did say that they want to get rid of jury trials, and you also mentioned something about Jack Straw and Tony Blair.
Yes, I mean, Jack Straw lied when he introduced the Terrorism Act 2000. He said it wouldn't be used against resistance organisations, and it very quickly was. He said it wouldn't be used against what he called domestic terrorists, but it was. He said it wouldn't be used against Kurdish groups, it was. And of course, Tony Blair, who was the Prime Minister, was more responsible for the spread of terrorism, that is ISIS and Al-Qaeda, than anyone. He invaded Iraq illegally. He created ISIS. And then he complains that people are then taking revenge by blowing up buses, etc. on 7/7. That was his direct responsibility. He caused 7/7. He caused the the Manchester Marina bombing by MI5 and MI6, in essence, employing an agent who they sent to fight with jihadists, who was then turned, came back and blew up 22 kids and injured hundreds.
And then what about the jury trial? Do you think, are you grateful that this was a jury trial?
Yes, very much so. Our politicians want to get rid of juries because they know they're the only independent element in the British state, because they consist of 12 ordinary men and women. And let us hope and fight for the retention of juries, because without juries we will have no freedom in this country, because our judges would lock up people according to the law rather than according to their consciences. And that's what I appealed to. That's what so angered the judge. I quoted the case of Edward Bushell's and the plaque on the Old Bailey wall. The judge took exception to mentioning it, but it's on the Old Bailey wall. I don't know what the hell she's on about. I quoted Chief Justice Vaughan, who said juries can decide cases according to their convictions. That's what the judges hate. And that's what this state hates.
What is the address of your blog?
There's two addresses. One is azvsas.blogspot.com, or just simply TonyGreenstein.com.
And what does AZVSAS stand for?
Anti-Zionism versus anti-Semitism.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you very much.